Good morning, students. Students, we learn this lesson first of geometry. Now, today I am going to explain you some example which are from problem set first. This lesson we finished before last week only, but some students have some doubts. So, some example which are a little bit hard, that example today I am going to explain. Now see the question number 4, because all the first 3 questions are very easy, students, and I thought everyone solved these questions. Now in question number 4, coordinate of point P on a number line is -7. Find the coordinate of point on the number line which are at a distance of 8 unit from point P. Now QP 8 unit and P y means X also and Y also, both are. Listen, very simple. Let point Q be at a distance of 8 unit from point P and left side upper P, left side, and right side also point R is there, which is at a distance of 8 unit from point P. Okay, so we have to find out the coordinate of the point on the number line which are at the distance of 8 unit from point P, because in a question it is not mentioned that the point is at right side or left side. Therefore we have to solve by two way. Now see here that let the coordinate of point Q be X, okay, and the coordinate of point R be Y. The coordinate of point P is -7, okay, it is given. This is given. So the point Q is the left of the point P. So therefore -7 is greater than this left point, whatever it is. But the distance is how much? The distance of PQ is 8 unit. So what is 8 unit? Minus of 7 minus x is equal to 8 according to given condition. So -7 minus x is equal to 8. Therefore this x you have to shift this side and 8 shifting right side. So you will get x is equal to minus of 15, and therefore the coordinate of point Q is 15. Now let's consider that the coordinate of point R be y. The coordinate of point P is -7. R is right side. Therefore the which coordinate is should be greater? Obviously y. The coordinate of y should be and greater, and according to these conditions we can write y minus -7 is equal to 8. Y minus -7 is equal to 8, and therefore 8 is equal to y plus 7. 8 minus 7 is equal to 1. Therefore y is equal to 1. 8 minus 7 is equal to 1. This is not a 7. Huh? Okay student, this is wrong. This is 1, and therefore y is equal to 1, and therefore the point of coordinate at a distance of 8 unit from P R may be minus of 15 and 1. Yes, because these both possibilities is occur. Now see the question number 5. Answer the following question. If A, B, C, now see here the one-to-one correspondence given. It means that in B is in between A and C, and distance of A comma C is equal to 17. Distance of B comma C is equal to 6.5. Then distance of AB is equal to what? So we have to find out the two distance are given. What is given here? See, first question. AC 17, BC 6.5. Distance of AC is equal to distance of AB plus BC, because ABC, this one-to-one correspondence is given. It means that it should be is in the middle. Okay, no need to write the other possibilities, because no any other possibility is there. If in the question already it is given that one-to-one correspondence, means we have to consider that conditions only. Other two conditions no need to consider. So AC is equal to distance of AC is equal to distance of AB plus distance of BC, and therefore distance of AC is 17, BC is 6.5. Distance of AB we have to find out. So by using this equation we can shift this 6.5. 17 minus of 6.5 you will get the 10.5, and this is the distance of point A and B. Now in the second question, if you are observing this PQR, it means that this point Q is in between P and R. Okay, so PQ is 3.4, QR is 5.7. So PR, we have to find out the PR. Distance of P comma R is equal to distance of PQ plus of distance of QR. And after calculating it, you will get the distance of P comma R is equal to 9.1. Listen, like this question is given, means in the question, 1-to-1 correspondence is given. The 3 points, 1-to-1 correspondence means what? Which point is in the middle? It is already given. Then we have to write only the one condition. Now see, the coordinate of a point A on a number line is 1. Now listen, this like a question number 4. A is 1. What are the coordinate of point on the number line which are at a distance 7? So we have to find out C and B. Consider C at the left side, B at the right side, and both the possibilities like question number 4 you have to solve. Now write the following statement in the conditional form. Every rhombus is a square. If a quadrilateral is a rhombus, then it is a square. Simple conditional statement like a English language. Anions in a linear pair are a supplementary. So if a figure is a triangle, if two angles are in a linear pair, then they are supplementary. Angles it is, not anions. Angles in a linear pair are supplementary. If two angles are linear pair, then they are supplementary. A triangle is a figure formed by 3 segments. If a figure is a triangle, then it is formed by the 3 segments. A number having only 2 divisor is called a prime number. If a number has only 2 divisor, then it is a prime number. Simple questions are there. Now converse. Before 7th question, in 7th question we did a conditional statement. Now converse of conditional statement. If the sum of the measure of angle is a figure is 180, then it is a triangle. If a figure is a triangle, we have to take a second part first and then first part second. That is vice versa of the conditional statement. See again, if the sum of the measure of angle in a figure is 180, then the figure is a triangle. What we can write? If the figure is a triangle, then whatever the part after the then, we have to consider in the if, and whatever the part after if, you have to write after the then statement. So that is called as a converse statement. Similarly, second question, third, fourth. Whatever part of the if statement, we have to write after the then and vice versa. Okay students. So this all you have to write in your notebook. Now write the antecedent, that is a given part, and consequent part to be proved. Given part in a theorem, two condition means two things are there. First it is given and second we have to prove. So this given part is called as an antecedent and the part which is to be proved is called as a consequent. If all the sides of a triangle are congruent, what is given here? Sides of triangle are congruent. What we have to prove? All angles are congruent. So what is the antecedent? Antecedent of the first statement is that all the sides of the triangle are congruent. And what we have to prove? All the angles are congruent. So consequent is that all the angles are congruent. Second, the diagonal of a parallelogram bisect each other. Okay, what is given? Diagonal of parallelogram bisect each other. Means we have to prove. Second statement, diagonal of parallelogram bisect each other. If a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, here statement is not given in a conditional form. Firstly write in the conditional form, means it will goes easy. If a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then its diagonal bisect each other. Means what is our given? Given is that parallelogram, quadrilateral is a parallelogram, and consequent is that diagonal bisect each other. Now see the next question. Draw a labeled figure showing information in each of the following statement. Two equilateral triangle are similar. Two equilateral. Equilateral means all sides are equal. ABC is all side equal. PQR all side equal. But they are similar. So according to the first statement, this is your diagram. What is antecedent? Two triangle are equilateral. And what is the triangle ABC and triangle PQR are equilateral. consequent. What is the consequent? The triangles are similar. What we have to prove? Triangle ABC is similar to triangle PQR. Simply in this way you have to write. We have to draw the diagram and write the antecedent and consequent. Listen beta, before writing the antecedent and consequent, firstly write the given statement in if then form. If it is already there, then no need to write. Now see here, look towards the second question. If already it is in the if then, so no need to write. If angle in a linear pair are congruent, then each of them are right angle triangle. Means we have to, what is the antecedent here? Angles in a linear pair are congruent. And what is the consequent? Each of them is a right angle triangle. So in this way, see here, angle ABC and angle ABD both are in a linear pair and both are congruent, so they are right angle triangle. Okay. If the altitude drawn on the two sides of a triangle are congruent, altitude means what? Height, which will draw from the one vertices towards the opposite side perpendicular to the opposite side. So BE is perpendicular to AC. So B is also altitude of this triangle ABC and AD is also altitude of triangle ABC. So what is the given? Altitude drawn on the two sides of a triangle are congruent. Then these two sides are congruent. It means that given thing, altitude drawn on the two sides are congruent. Means what? AD is equal to B. Then consequent, two sides are congruent. We have to prove that BC is equal to AC. Okay. So just no need to write the proof. Just we have to write the antecedent, consequent and draw the diagram according to given statement. Okay students. So this all example write properly in your notebook. If you already solved, then tell your answer with this PPT. Okay students. Now tomorrow I will start our next lesson, second lesson of geometry.